All right, it's day 8 on our 10 tips in 10 days. I'm Bill Pollock, sports director of the Missouri Net. We're going to talk about base running today. Here's one thing that I see. In fact, I don't just see it with kids in T-ball, but first graders, second graders, third graders, they have a tendency that after they hit the ball and they run down to first base, and I'm sure you've seen this too, they want to stop right on first base. And it's so hard to teach kids that first base is really the only base that you can overrun and you don't have to worry about being tagged out on. They do a good job of stopping at second and third base, but when they hit that ball on the ground and they're trying to beat out a throw, you have to teach them to run through the base. And I came up with one little simple tip, and this is more for base coaches. Instead of standing as you wait here and the kid's running down the base, one thing that I tried that I found worked is if you take a few steps back after the ball is hit, and if you give your base runner a visual that they need to get down to you, they tend to run a little bit faster and almost forget about racing to the base, and they're more racing to you. So the next time your batters are up and you're working on that home to first drill, instead of standing right on the base, stand back a few feet, give them some encouragement, and point your finger down to the ground. Because as that base runner is running and they're watching you, they're seeing you point to this specific spot. So they're running actually past the base and trying to get to you, and they'll take their focus off of stopping at the base. And we'll try it right now with one of my base runners. So the ball's hit, tell her, Haley, get down here, get down here, get down here, get down here. Now she slows up. It's a nice little visual for those young base runners, not to stop at first base, but to run all the way through. All right, one more quick little tip now. As you're batting, one thing you want to do, and you've been told this by your coaches, and in fact I tell my kids this too, you hit that ball and that ball is on the ground, you put your head down and you run straight toward first base. But one thing you have to do though is you have to give a little glance. You got to see where the ball is going. You don't want to run and follow the ball because it'll slow you down, but you have to give yourself a little bit of a glance just to see if the ball got past the infielders and goes out into the outfield. If it does, then you know that you're going to make a turn and maybe head to second base. So after you hit, you take a few steps in your running, glance and see where the ball is. If the ball's in the infield and the fielders make a play, then you put your head down and you run through that bag. And we'll have Ryan here show you what I'm talking about. Hold on, Ryan. Run, gives a little glance, goes through the base. That's it. Just give a little glance, and it'll help you determine whether or not you need to round for second or fly through the bag at first base. And your coaches will work with you on rounding and heading to second. So that's our tip for today. Hope you enjoyed it. That's tip number 8 on our 10 tips in 10 days on MissouriNet.com.